Hello, friends, and welcome back to Malicious Compliance Stories. Weddings seem to bring out the worst in people. Our first story is about a bunch of jerks trying to ruin our OP's wedding. But before we begin, best way to support our channel is to leave comments, like, and subscribe with the turned-on bell so you don't miss the new video every single day. Here we go. You should be smiling. 11 years ago, I got married. The venue was a very nice hotel in downtown Cincinnati. Both the ceremony and reception were all in one gorgeous room. Not the largest room in the hotel, but a smaller, more elegant one. My wife and I were very happy with it. The largest room in the hotel was rented out to some strange organization that I'll call the Moron Lodge. The sole purpose of this organization seemed to be for its members to get raging drunk and generally be obnoxious. My groomsmen, I only had one, small wedding and all that, and I were in our tuxes heading down on the elevator for photos. Part of the way down, the elevator stopped and in trotted 8 members of the Moron Lodge, already looking a bit unsteady, even though it was about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. My groomsmen and I moved to make room. My emotions are running extremely high with getting married and all, so I had retreated into my own thoughts, even though I was actually very happy. Having a quiet moment on the elevator gave me a chance to process. When I do that, my face usually looks fairly grim. Cue one of the Moron Lodge attendees telling me that at work I should be smiling. I look back at my groomsmen, roll my eyes, and go back to my inner thoughts. The fact that I was wearing a tux with a white tie and cummerbund and my groomsmen had a different color, which screams groom and groomsmen, didn't register on this idiot. Again, she states that you people should be smiling to make your guests feel welcome. Again, I'm in my own thoughts and ignore her. Finally, the elevator reaches our floor and I get off first. My groomsman stops in the door, blocking it, turns around and tells the assemblage of idiots that I'm getting married and that we do not effing work for the hotel, and if you had one iota of intelligence, you would have known that from our tuxes. That put an end to that particular episode. I'd like to say it was the last. It was the last I was directly involved in, but the Moron Lodge really lived up to its name that night. Fortunately, I had the foresight to hire additional security, and they earned their pay. Update. Okay, for those of you who want the rest of the story, hotel security had to turn back a party of 4 drunken Moron Lodge celebrants while my bride and I were doing our first dance. Later on that evening, a Moron Lodge individual got belligerent with one of the security folks I personally hired for the wedding. Apparently, he thought that both rooms were rented out for the Moron Lodge and got PO'd that he was being turned away. He wound up spending the night in a jail cell as he was messing with an off-duty police officer. Oops. Later that night, back in our room, our next-door neighbors were not just loud, but actually destroying the room. We could hear things breaking. A call to the front desk and security was sent up and not another peep. I imagine they were kicked out of the hotel. Usually when people behave that way, a warning's not enough. We were so exhausted, we finally fell asleep. Good thing, too, we had to be up at 4:30 a.m. after dancing till midnight to catch a plane to Maui. Why did I hire security for my wedding? Quite frankly, due to events that lead up to the wedding that I'll not write about here, that convinced me that some members of both families thought that all the attention should be paid to them and not to the bride and I. Both mother-in-laws had a come-to-Jesus moment, and surprisingly, one of my friends, whom I'd known for many years and counted as one of my inner circle. After the wedding, the friend was cut off completely. She tried to contact me a year later, but she earned my indifference, and once that happens, it's a long hill to climb to get back into my good graces. As to what she did, let's just say she attempted to make my bride's day about herself. Sounds insane? It was. She found herself unceremoniously dumped out the front door of the hotel. My patience for bullcrap that day was utterly non-existent. A lot of people learned very quickly that there's a very ruthless side of me, and I did not apologize one bit for any of it. That day was about my bride and no one else. Those that were good guests were treated to amazingly good food. The hotel restaurant had many awards, a live swing band, and an amazing cake. Oh, and all the free alcohol they could drink. And our second story. Working for Walmart? Kinda. 2 years ago, a few Walmart stores around the area decided to upgrade their equipment, so they hired contractors, like me, to upgrade their card readers to the chip reader, as well as some point-of-sale terminals. However, getting confused with an actual permanent employee happened enough times that if I had $1 for every time I was asked about certain items, I'd replace my income. Even though I'm wearing a tan button-up shirt with a 5-wide name tag that has the contracting company's logo on it, including the word contractor in big red letters. This night in particular turned out to be the longest work night ever. Our shifts are usually 6 p.m. to about 11 p.m. to only upgrade the card readers, but this store dragged on until 4 a.m. since they also wanted to upgrade all the point-of-sale systems. Not only that, but my roommate got sent to the drunk tank, and I'm getting calls from the police late at night and when I can come pick him up, even though I repeatedly told them that I'm part of a contract job and can't leave, and to have them call his girlfriend or parents. Then there was this guy who came up to me while I was rewiring a new point-of-sale device with a full cash drawer, which in hindsight, I'm surprised they trusted a guy who's never been to their particular store with what may have been hundreds in cash, as they didn't even take the cash drawer and rung up a customer without incident. Guy, excuse me, do you know where the universal remotes are? Me. Following the script they had me memorize that was something like this. Sorry, but I'm part of maintenance and wouldn't know where things are in this particular store. Although, pointing at actual Walmart employees talking items about 50 feet away, let's just call her Diana, I'm sure she'd be glad to help you. Guy, how do you work here and not know where it is? Me, reiterating, pointing at my shirt's logo, sorry sir, but I'm a contractor. Guy, can you at least point me in the right direction, bro? Me, points at Diane. Yeah, she's right there. Guy, no smart butt, where in the store? Me, actually being a smart butt this time, sir, if I asked your cable guy where you kept your toilet paper, would he know? Guy, no, but you work here though. Where the F is your manager? Me, no I don't. My manager's Bill from contracting company. Diana actually starts walking over. Sir, he doesn't work here. The remotes are in electronics, pointing towards electronics section of store. This was also, ironically, the next terminal I had to work on. Guy angrily raising voice to her, this is between me and him. To me, what the F are you doing to the register? Want me to call the cops? Me, go ahead. I'm actually contracted to upgrade it, and I have the paperwork to prove it. Guy storms off towards the front of the store. Me and stock clerk make jokes about it, then resume our duties. Then 5 minutes later, the manager comes by. Manager, exasperatedly, sir, like I said, he's not a direct employee. Corporate sent him over to upgrade the electronics. Diana works here and could have told you. Diana says, and I have, but he kept arguing with him. Manager, yeah, so why were you harassing him? Guy, because he's a smart butt wrenching away at your equipment but says he doesn't work here. This goes on for 3 minutes before he finally gets it, with him even invoking my cable guy toilet paper example, and the manager was trying to hold back laughter and saying, that's not how I'd put it, but it fits. You can think of him as the cable guy, though. Then he starts complaining about being more obvious, but the manager still explained that I had a contractor tag before he finally had it and asked the guy to leave. But the manager was also kind enough to insist on giving me a gift certificate that said $20 as an apology, but it turned out to be $50 when I used it on the weekend at a store closer to me to get groceries. I lived about 45 minutes away from this particular branch. I even called the manager and offered to give back the difference, but he still let me keep it. And our last story. My car was stolen. Thief is the son of city councilor. My car was stolen. Police found a 16-year-old driving it, but say they can't charge him because there's not enough evidence. Thief is the son of a city councilor, California. My car was stolen out of my driveway. I came out in the morning to find my car gone and some broken glass in the driveway. I called the police and filed a report. Last week, the police called me and told me the car had been found and that I could come and pick it up. I picked it up from the police station, but the clutch and the transmission were fried, it's a manual, and I had to get it towed back to my house because I couldn't drive it. The police told me they caught someone driving it and they were working on the case. Besides the window being broken and the clutch and transmission being fried, the car reeked of marijuana and had empty beer bottles all over the floor. While I was cleaning it, I found a cell phone under the seat. It was unlocked and it had notifications up. I brought the phone to the police, figuring that would help their case. This is where it gets weird. The officer took the phone but told me there wasn't enough evidence to charge anyone with anything, so I should just cut my losses and move on. I didn't understand how this was possible because they told me they caught someone driving it, and the report they sent to my insurance company confirms this. I called the police again and kept getting the runaround, so finally I asked to speak to a supervising officer. The supervising officer told me they didn't have enough evidence on John Smith to charge him with anything. I don't think it's a coincidence that John Smith is the son of a city councilor. The supervising officer told me that the case was closed and I should leave this alone. He was found driving my car that I have on video being stolen. His phone was found in my car. The window was busted. The transmission and clutch were fried. The car smells like marijuana and had 36 beer bottles on the floor. The bill to fix my car is going to be a fortune. I know that if he wasn't the son of a city councilor, he'd already be in jail. Also, despite having a clean driving record and no criminal record, I've been pulled over 4 times since I got my car back while driving my rental. All 4 times, it was just so the police could check my documents. A strange guy in a suit also came to my house and has sat in a car outside my work. He never says anything to me, he just smiles and waves. The police say he isn't breaking any laws by being in public. So I hired a lawyer, told him to contact the nearest FBI office and demand a meeting with an agent, brought copies of all my documents, and fully and truthfully told them the facts as I understood them. The agent prepared a 302 document and met with the ADA because he decided that what I said had merit and they were interested in pursuing a case against the officials covering for the suspect. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.